If you've never watched my channel before, if you've never watched my countdown to Christmas videos before, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to help you to have the most organised Christmas you've ever had. If you follow my 11-week plan, I can guarantee that you will have an organised Christmas, a stress-free Christmas, and you will not reenact Jingle All the Way. If this is the first time you join me, don't worry, it's not too late to get involved. Weeks 1 and 2 are in the description for you, along with the checklist that you can use alongside these videos. Okay, so week 3, here we go. Planners at the ready, cuppas at the ready, let's go. So first of all, thank you so much for your feedback from weeks 1 and 2. I really do love to hear from you. It's nice to know that you've been getting some bargains. Oh, I just really enjoy hearing that you're getting organised, you're ticking off those boxes. And as the weeks go on, you'll just see how much easier it is in the run up to Christmas. Yes, it seems mental that you're doing these things in October. Yes, it seems mental that you're thinking about your Christmas dinner now, but believe me, this works. And I promise you'll have a much more organised Christmas and enjoy the run up to Christmas if you follow along with the checklist. Feel free also, somebody messaged me and said, is it alright that I've done some things off week 4 and 5 already, even though you haven't covered them? Yes, of course it is. Use the checklist as a guide for yourself. You might find that you've actually already done something from week 9, maybe even week 10, you know, but don't worry, that's brilliant. And of course that's amazing, you know, it doesn't matter if you've skipped ahead. You know, have you managed to achieve all of week 8 already? It's great. Obviously, the checklist is there for you to use in whichever way you see fit. And if you've already crossed off week 8 and we're only on week 3, then that's absolutely amazing. Likewise, if you haven't done any of week 1 yet and you've only ticked 1 box from week 2, it doesn't matter. It's not too late. Use the checklist as a guide to help you, okay? So don't worry if you're not quite there or you've rushed ahead. Amazing, just keep going. The point is, every single box that you tick is one step closer to being organised for Christmas, so that in December you can have a really nice time. You can enjoy the festivities, you can enjoy the school play, you can enjoy going on your Christmas nights out without worrying that you haven't finished your shopping or you haven't bought a certain item that you need. So honestly, just keep going, guys. These are all doing amazing. So the first thing I want to talk about this week is the biggie. It is the budget. Yes, the scary budget. This is where I want you to sit down and make your plan. I want you to sit down, work out your budget. How much have you got to spend for Christmas? You know, I don't want you all to be sitting in January with bills because you haven't budgeted, you just went out and went mental because it's Christmas. Because at the end of the day, Christmas is one day and you don't want to be left with a load of debt come January, because January is a miserable month anyway. Let's not make it any more miserable by having a load of Christmas debt, okay? So, write your budget and stick to it. I will keep saying that over the next few weeks. Stick to the budget, right? I know it seems tempting to go out and just go absolutely crazy on Christmas, but it's not necessary. Christmas is a time to spend with your family, you know. So if you're struggling this year and you're feeling the pinch, then really sit down and think about what you can afford to get. What can you comfortably afford? There's no point going out and spending a load of money on, like, sort of, I'm going to call it cheap tat from sort of your pound shop type shops, you know, your dollar stores and things like that, just to bulk out the presents. Because at the end of the day, it just ends up becoming clutter. And I'm sure if you speak to your kids and ask them about their presents and things last year, if you were one who did decide to bulk everything out with cheaper items that they didn't really ask for, they probably won't even remember that they got them, you know. And I know that sounds harsh, but stick to the presents, you know, stick to the list. Once you've brought out your budget, then you want to write who you're going to buy for, write a list of who needs a present, you know, what your kids have started to think about, how much you can put aside for your kids. And don't go into debt for Christmas, because at the end of the day, it's one day. Okay, so I know it sounds like, you know, oh my goodness me, you know, they've only got so many presents. Honestly, come Christmas, they will not mind. It doesn't matter whether the stockings were overflowing last year and you're worrying about, you know, whether you do the same this year. It really doesn't matter, you know. Christmas is more than presents, okay? Presents are lovely. I love presents. Everybody loves presents. But I'm hardly going to come downstairs on Christmas morning and go, oh, is that all I've got? And I'm sure your kids won't either. You know, it just seems that way. You're all on the internet, you always see you know, the OTT, the perfect Christmas, the Instagram, the Pinterest worthy Christmas, you know, but in real life, you know, it doesn't always happen like that, and that's okay, you know. And I know everybody's feeling the pinch, everything's more expensive this year and everybody's got less money, so, you know, just make that budget and stick to it. Okay, right, that is the serious bit out of the way for this week. Now, number 2 is the gift list. So I'm sure by now the kids have seen a catalogue or a brochure, or they've seen something on TV. The ideas are probably starting to come in. You've probably got a few things in your mind about what you might buy someone. You know, you might be thinking about your family members. Get a list going, okay? And I say this all the time, lists, but at least know where you are. Now with me, I'll write the person, I'll write the gift, I'll tick when I've bought it, and then I'll tick when I've wrapped it. So if it's got 2 ticks, I know that it's a wrapped present. 1 tick has been bought, no ticks, it's an idea. Yeah. And when I do think of an idea for somebody, or someone's asked for something, then I start going and comparing my prices, you know. So you've had Prime Day, we're going to be having Black Friday in November as well, which is where you can get some really, really good bargains. But again, it's only a bargain if you really needed it. So start having a look around, tracking those prices, especially if it's a high ticket value item. Is that the right word? High value item, high ticket item? I'm not sure. Anyway, if it's things like, you know, your PS5s, your laptops, your TVs, you know, things like that, your high ticket items, that's the one. Start tracking your prices now, because, you know, come Black Friday, people can be a little bit naughty and put the prices up, so that come Black Friday they reduce the price. You're like, oh my god, that's such a bargain. No, it's not. The price was inflated beforehand. So I want you to be starting to do your research now. But we'll talk about Black Friday a little bit more in the coming weeks. But for now, as you write your gift list, start having a look around at prices, okay? You'll start to see a little bit of a trend, and then all of a sudden you might see one that's much lower. You know, I might be starting to find that the price is creeping up. Is it worth holding out? You know, but just keep tracking of things, and again, make sure you write it all down. Right, so next we're going to talk about children's Santa lists. So they really need to start getting things down on paper. I normally say that our children need to get their Santa list done by the end of November at the very latest. I want to get them posted, I want to make sure that Santa's got them in time, and I want Santa and the elves to have enough time to go and get everything that are on those lists, you know. So start getting them to think about it, but don't give them the Smiths catalogue. Don't give them the Argos catalogue. It's not a game of bingo, right? Don't want to have them going through just, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. We've all seen it happen, you know. If that Lego magazine comes through the door, but take it away. Don't let them see it. You know, if kids are faced with toys and toys and toys in their face, they're gonna want them. So don't give them the catalogues. You know, it's just the worst thing. They just start going through and circling any old thing, and then as parents we feel pressure to buy those things. You know, so I would say if you're signed up to any mailing lists for any stores, unassign yourselves, or make sure that the kids don't get their hands on those brochures, because it's not a game of bingo. Alright, but get those Santa lists done so Santa and the elves have got enough time to get everything sorted and honestly ready for Christmas Eve. Now, this has been a bit of a controversial subject, this next one, because I've said it for the past couple of years that I think I might do it, and I never have, and I probably won't this year, is to bake a Christmas cake. Now last year I was ever so keen, and then I just didn't bother, because I realised that not many people in my family and friends like Christmas cake. So I thought, well, if I make one, my poor mom's going to probably end up eating it all. So I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to make one. You know, I mean, yes, it might be Christmassy and festive, but I'm not going to feel the pressure to make a Christmas cake just because it's Christmas, you know. So I didn't. I saved myself a lot of stress by not doing it, because then it meant I didn't have to go and feed the cake, make the cake, feed the cake, because you have to like fill it with like alcohol. But that's another thing, you know, don't fall for the pressures of Christmas. So if you only bake a Christmas cake because it's Christmas and people are baking cakes, then don't do it if you don't need it. I normally bake some gingerbread in December, and I love doing that, so I'll do that. But no, I don't think I'm going to be making a cake this year, because nobody eats it, and I've probably not got enough time to do it anyway. So that is one thing that I'm not going to do. But if you do like to do one, then the beginning of October is the perfect time to get that cake made, so that you've got enough time to feed it full of alcohol, ready for Christmas. okay? That's everything for this week. So work out your budget and stick to it. Write out a gift list so you know who you're going to buy for. Get the kids to start working on the list for Santa. And if you like to, bake a Christmas cake, and then you can start feeding it over the next weeks leading up to Christmas. There you go. Just 4 things this week. Don't forget, I've linked weeks 1 and 2 in the description, along with a link to the planner that I use, and also a link to the checklist. Thank you so much for watching this week. Stay festive, and we'll see you next week for week 4. Bye for now.